Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into a system most of us are in, but few of us really understand. We're talking about the modern employee trap. We're going to explore why that traditional path of just trading your time for money is, well, a game that's pretty much designed for you to lose. Let's get into it. You've probably seen this Warren Buffett quote before, right? But here's the thing. It's not supposed to be some feel-good motivational poster on the wall. Think of it as a serious warning. The argument we're about to break down says this isn't just an opinion, it's a mathematical certainty. It's a blueprint for a life of endless work if you don't fundamentally change the equation.
Yeah, exactly. The system isn't rigged because of emotions or some conspiracy. It's just designed with cold, hard math. And you know what? Understanding that math is the absolute first step to breaking free from the trap.
So let's define our terms. What exactly is the employee trap? Well, it's a whole system that's built around one single transaction. You selling your most valuable, totally non-renewable asset. And what is that asset? It's your time. Let's break down how this one simple exchange ends up locking you into a cycle you can't seem to escape. This right here is the core belief. It feels safe, right? A steady paycheck. But think about it like this. Your time is your inventory. It's like you own a little shop, but you only have 24 items on the shelf each day. That's it. You can't make more. So no matter how hard you work or how efficient you are, your daily revenue has a hard cap. That's the fundamental problem with being an employee. Your income potential is limited from day one.
So how did this become the default setting for almost everybody? Well, our training for the trap started really early. Think back to school. Our traditional education system, it's basically a relic from the industrial age. It wasn't designed to create innovators or independent thinkers. It was engineered to produce compliant workers. People who could sit still, follow instructions, and be a reliable cog in a giant machine that somebody else owns.
And this quote from Nassim Taleb just nails the psychological hook, doesn't it? A salary, a steady paycheck, it acts like a drug. It gives you this regular, predictable dose of security that just numbs your ambition. It makes you afraid of the unknown. It's kind of like a form of domestication, really. You trade your real freedom for a comfortable, predictable life.
Okay, but it's not all in your head. It's not just about psychology. The pure mathematics of this system are completely stacked against the employee. So let's actually look at the numbers.
The tax code tells you everything you need to know. All over the world, it's the same story. Tax systems penalize labor and reward capital. When you earn $1 from your salary, you get hit with the highest possible tax rates. But when you earn $1 because an asset you own went up in value, that's capital gains, you pay a much lower rate. It's exactly why Warren Buffett famously said his secretary pays a higher tax rate than he does. He wasn't bragging. He was pulling back the curtain and showing you the rules of the game.
And then you've got this other thing, this silent killer of wealth, inflation. So here's how it works. When inflation hits, the prices of assets, stocks, real estate, they shoot up almost immediately. And that makes the owners of those assets richer overnight. But wages? Oh, wages are sticky. They lag way behind. So by the time your boss gives you that 3% cost of living raise, your actual purchasing power has already been eaten away. It's like you're running on a treadmill and someone just keeps cranking up the speed. You have to work harder and harder just to stay in the same place. And this really gets to the fundamental divide. As an employee, your income is totally linear. You trade 1 hour of your time for 1 unit of money. But as we said, your time is finite. You can't create more of it. As an owner, though, your income is tied to systems, businesses, assets that can grow exponentially. They can work for you 24/7, whether you're at your desk, on vacation, or fast asleep.
And this mathematical reality creates a huge psychological divide. The employee mindset, it confuses activity with productivity. You wear being busy like a badge of honor, right? Oh, I'm so slammed this week. But the owner mindset is totally different. It knows that real value doesn't come from being busy. It comes from strategic thinking. It's why the best owners and investors will deliberately carve out empty space in their calendars just to sit and think.
Okay, so we've spent a lot of time diagnosing the trap. Now, let's talk about the escape plan. And it all starts with a total shift in your mindset. Think of it like installing a new piece of software in your brain. Let's call it the owner's operating system.
This is the first most important line of code. It's the whole foundation. You will never ever build significant wealth just by renting out your time. You have to own equity, a piece of a business, a piece of an asset. Every dollar you invest, every piece of a company you own, it becomes like a tiny soldier in your own financial army, out there working to capture more territory for you 24/7.
All right, the second line of code in the owner's OS is to use leverage. What's leverage? It's basically a force multiplier. It's what lets you finally decouple your income from your time.
It amplifies your efforts so you can get results that would be literally impossible to achieve on your own. And what's so incredible about the time we live in right now is how leverage has evolved. The old forms of leverage were labor, hiring people, and capital, borrowing money. And both of those were risky, and you needed someone's permission to use them. But the new forms of leverage? We're talking code and media. They're permissionless. You don't need to ask anyone. You can write a piece of software or create a piece of content one time, and it can be copied and distributed 1,000,000 times over at basically zero extra cost. It is the definition of making money while you sleep. And the final line of code is this: build systems. See, an owner doesn't just run around solving problems all day. They design systems that solve problems automatically. Your ultimate goal is to make yourself completely redundant to the day-to-day operations of your income stream. Because think about it, if your business can't run without you being there, you don't really own a business. You just own a very demanding job.
Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but, we've all got rent to pay, bills to cover. You can't just walk into your boss's office and quit tomorrow. And that's exactly why you need a strategic, calculated plan to get out. So let's walk through it.
Here is the strategy. You need to completely reframe what your job is. It's not your life. It's not your identity. For now, it is your first investor. It's providing the seed capital for your real venture, your escape. Your real work, your true calling, doesn't happen from 9 to 5. It begins the second you clock out on Friday. From Friday night to Monday morning, you are the CEO of your own future.
And as the CEO of You, Incorporated, you have one mission. Use that precious weekend time to build assets that generate their own income. You work on your side business, you research investments, you write that code, you create that content. And you do it relentlessly until you hit what's called escape velocity. That's the magic moment. It's the point where the income from your part-time efforts completely covers your full-time living expenses. That is the moment you are truly free.
But I have to give you a warning. As you get closer and closer to that exit, the system is going to test you. It's going to try to pull you back in. You'll suddenly get offered a big promotion, a nice raise, maybe that corner office you always wanted. They call them golden handcuffs for a reason. It's a very tempting trap, and it's designed to do one thing: consume more of your time and energy and lock you back in the cage just when you are about to fly free.
And all of this brings us to our final, and honestly, the most important question. Because at the end of the day, this isn't really about spreadsheets or stock charts. It's about how you choose to live the one and only life you've got.
This is it. This is the ultimate gut check. When you're looking back on your life, what's really going to sting more? The fact that you spent 40 years, your best years, building a dream that wasn't even yours? Or will it be the memory of the risks you took, the fear you faced, to build something for yourself?
And that is the final, most empowering truth of all. The employee trap, it feels like a cage, but the door isn't locked. In fact, it's always been wide open. The only thing standing between you and walking right through it is the courage to take that first step.